and makes it easier for you to play. For example, all your life you've been born into a home with silver spoon, and then you've never really suffered anything. During COVID, you don't even understand what COVID is all about, because basically your parents are rich, you had all your supplies, everything intact, you schooled abroad, life has been so rosy for you. You've never had any tragedy, nothing. And then you now delve into acting. And then you are given a role to play the role of a woman who has just lost her husband, or somebody who has just lost somebody very precious. Now, you've never experienced something like that. What do you do? Stanislavski said, you now have to take your imagination to a point in time where you are able to remember something that happened that made you sad. Now, in the process of recalling that, as you recall that incident and you are playing the role, you are entering into character, what you do is you replace that emotional incident, you recall it, and then put it in the scene you're about to play, in the lines you're about to deliver, and then the emotion that is expected of those lines, you play back the incident that had happened that was sad, so that you now playing a widow or playing someone who's lost somebody will be able to effectively display the emotions that that character requires. You can use it in very many roles. Now, it also talked about magic if. What if I have never experienced anything like that before? It says it's very simple. If there is no memory bank for you to recall, then you can create. Now, you ask yourself, if in real life I lose my son in an air crash, what would I do in real life? Now, he expects you to now create the psychological and emotional reactions, assuming this kind of news ever happens, and then use that as your memory to be able to play the role you want to play. Now, if you find out, basically, Konstantin Stanislavski's style of acting has helped quite a lot of modern day actors, because that seems to be something that is very easy to do. Emotional recall and magic if, whether you are doing stage, whether you are doing radio, or whether you are doing screen. Now, another acting guru, Bertolt Brecht, came up with an idea and said, I don't seem to like the way Konstantin Stanislavski is making his audience and his listeners to so empathize with just a movie or just a stage play or a radio drama, so much so that you make them cry, you whip up emotions in them, you make them remember things that they're not supposed to remember. You also make them forget temporarily that what they're doing is just watching a movie, a film, or a stage play, or a film. He said, no. And what if somebody in the audience has a heart attack? What if somebody in the audience does not have the emotional capacity to be able to watch a reenaction of something? I mean, that won't be funny. So, Bertolt Brecht said he created the epic theater, theater alienation, so to speak, in the midst of empathy, breaking the crowd, the audience or the viewer, breaking their focus or intention on the movie or on the play that is going on, and bringing them to a realization that, hey, wait a minute, what you're watching is just a film. It's not real. Why the tears? What you're watching is the film. Why are you afraid? What you're watching is the stage play. Why are you afraid? So in his own theory, he wanted a situation whereby the actors will play their roles in such a way that they will intermittently break their character, so that the viewer and the audience will understand that, hey guys, it's just... Let me give an example. Let me use a stage play, for example, Once Upon 4 Robbers by Femi Oshofiso. It got to a point where the armed robbers had been terrorizing the community and they had been arrested. So the actors now paused and then they faced the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. They stopped the play. So a play that had been going on, that had been enjoying the emotions and the psychological effects, they just suddenly stopped the play and said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all realize that you're watching a play. Please, I want to ask you a question. These armed robbers that have been caught, should we make them die or should we forgive them? Should we kill them or forgive them? Let me ask the people from this row. Some people said yes. Let me ask the people, some people said no. Then they now said, why do you want them to die? Why don't say, yeah, because they're wicked now. Look at all the things they've done. Now, it made the audience to realize that, hey, we're watching just a reenactment. It's not the real thing. So it helped to cut them off so that those who had been carried away emotionally were brought back to reality. And they said, okay, let us vote. How many of you want us to kill the robbers? So some people voted. How many of you don't want? Others voted. And then the winner. Now, the director had already agreed with the actors that whichever way the audience goes, they will follow. So if the audience say let's kill, then they will follow the part of the play that they had rehearsed to toe the line of the audience. If the audience say let's not kill them, let's forgive them, they will follow the actors had prepared for both parts. That was Brecht's style. Alienation in the midst of empathy. Now, just before we end the class, I'll also say that we have different genres of films, you know. There are, like I wrote here, you have drama, you have historical films, you have comedy, horror, you have fiction, tragedy, and the rest. You could study that, search out for that, and do that on your own. Now you find out that in this style, the acting style required for this is different from this. I might be a comedian like Mr. Ubu, Mr. Mbu, one of the comedians in the Nollywood series. There are some actors in the Nollywood series that if you bring them to play serious roles, you end up laughing. Why? Because they've been used to one style of acting. Now, before we close, I'd like to say something about stereotype acting. You know, we've been talking about genre and then acting styles. Stereotype acting is where the actor keeps playing a particular kind of role. Maybe in this film, he's a bad woman. In the next film, another bad woman. So, all the actor does, all we see in that character is just one style of acting. It's called stereotypical acting. It's not very good for anybody who wants to be a very good actor. And I dare say before I close the class that if you really want to be an A-list actor, most sought-after actor, you must be very versatile. Versatile in the sense that you should be good enough to be able to do radio acting. You should be good enough to be able to do stage acting. You should be good enough to be able to do screen acting and understand the pros and cons of both. And then you should be able to sing. And you should be able to dance. You may not be very good, but because if we're going to reenact an Indian movie here in Nigeria, for example, and we need very good actors, you know, who are versatile, of course, we'll pick you. But when it comes to singing, and you can't sing, that's the end. You miss the role, even though you're very good, but you just can't sing and you can't dance. So I want to encourage you that you should hone your acting, even if it means going to take acting classes. I mean, dance classes and singing classes. Just do that, so that you become a little bit better than the average one. So, let's just say we have come to the end of today's edition and this class of genre and then acting. Now, I expect you all to turn in your last assignment because I think one or two of you have not. And then I'm going to give you an assignment for today. All right, now, the assignment I'm going to give you right now, you would upload it on your social media, and then you're going to tag Pefty on Instagram. So it's pefty.tv, but you upload it on your social media, and then tag pefty.tv on Instagram. What I want you to do is very simple. Now, I'm going to break into groups, so like 3 or 4 groups. So I need you to do a 60 seconds minimum, 60 seconds method, 60 seconds either a duologue or a monologue, right? On method acting, realistic acting, okay? On anything, any topic you want, you know? Do your research about the characters, you know? Be as emotional as you can. Employ the magic if, the emotional recall. all that Konstantin Stanislavski, has propagated, which I have shared with you in other classes and today. And then do another story, right? And then with the Brechtian method, I need you to create a story, enact it, but I want you to do what is called, what I explained to you, alienation in the midst of empathy. At the point where your viewers are already engrossed with your story, cut them off and bring them to reality. So we will now compare both of them. So I'll see you in the next class. Please do not forget your assignment.